All right, so the Raiders had another signing today. Today it was receiver Willie Snead IV from the Baltimore Ravens. He also had previously played with Drew Brees at the New Orleans Saints, but I think it's a pretty good signing. He clearly wanted out of the Baltimore Ravens, and I think it was a good pickup for the Raiders that there's not because there's not too many good receivers left on the board. So last year this guy was pretty good. He had 25 catches for 356 yards in the first 9 games. However, he did have an ankle injury and he had COVID. And he only, after those 9 games, he was only able to rack up 76 yards for the rest of the season. But those first 9 games are still good. I mean, I think obviously he has a pretty good excuse. He was injured and he had COVID. But all in all, he had 432 yards last year, 13.1 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns, and 33 receptions total. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, if you look at one of our best receivers last year, who's unfortunately gone, Nelson Aguilar, he had a pretty similar yards per reception, and I think that's big for the Raiders because the Raiders tend to throw deep. So I think it's good that he has that. And like I said, he played 3 years in Baltimore, and before that, he was with the Saints. And his best season was 2018. He had 651 yards total. Actually, no, his best season was 2015, but he was a lot younger back then. He had 984 yards, 895 in 2016. So obviously, I mean, if you look at Baltimore Ravens, however, they're obviously a lot more of a running team. So that probably could have been due to his less production. But the Raiders, I think, have a pretty good scheme, kind of that offense with running it and balancing it with the throwing. And obviously, he was probably not happy because as much as he should be, because having Lamar Jackson, the best running quarterback in the NFL, you're not going to get as many targets as you want. So I think that's probably due to his underproduction in the past couple of years. And I think he was kind of frustrated. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens, they weren't expected to bring him back. This was back in February. He tweeted out, "Any receiver can be a true number one if they are in a system that allows them to be. What they do after, that is on him." So I think he was kind of implying that he didn't like the system in Baltimore. And I mean, I don't totally blame him. I mean, the receivers in Baltimore are good, but they're not like the top tier receivers because they are more of a running team, like I said. Obviously, they have Hollywood Brown, Miles Boykin, Devin Duvernay, but they're still a good team. But I think this, all in all, was a good signing. This guy has experience. He's 28 years old, and yeah, I mean, I think we needed to add some more depth to our receiving core. Obviously, we have Renfro. We just got that Brown from the Bills. We got Waller, who's technically a tight end, but we know he's more of a receiver. And obviously Henry Ruggs is still young. So I think they're trying to add depth. I think it's a good signing. Like I said, a 1-year deal, so they're probably going to just see how he does this year and then, decide whether or not to keep him next year. So I think it's definitely a good way to stack up receivers. But with that, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm content with this. I think it's a good signing. But anyways, thanks a lot. Go Raiders.